Hi everyone, how are you? It's Mrs. Holbrook and it's so good to see you. This unit is pretty exciting to me because it's a little different and you'll see why. This unit we're talking about contractions. I bet a lot of you know what contractions are, but you might not know that term. So we'll be diving into that today. Let's get started with our warm up. If only I knew where Baby Echo was. Baby Echo, you were slacking, hanging out with your little friend Turtle. They were playing down there instead of being here when it's time for the lesson. Baby Echo, you need to be responsible. Just like these kids at home, they're so responsible watching these videos and learning. They need you. Okay, we're ready now. We're going to start with some of the vowel team sounds. Here we go. AI bait A, AY play A, EE Jeep E, EA eat E, EY key E. So look at that. We have long A, long E. Now these ones, I love them. OI coin oi. OY boy oi. All right, now we have our long O's and our ows. OA boat O. OE toe O. OW snow O. OW plow ow. Awesome. And we will stop right there and do some tricky sound-alike words. Let me grab a few. Okay, let's read them. Berry. Which kind of berry is this? Like the fruit? What's this one? Meat. What kind of meat? The kind that some people eat. It's got the word eat in it. What's this one? Meat. Yes, it's very nice to meet you too. Thank you. Next one. Herd. I've never seen a herd of turtles, no. But what animals do we call a herd? Elephants. And herd. You heard me. You should be talking to me, even though I'm on a screen. I know it's weird. And one more. Berry. And what's this berry? The dog is going to bury the bone. Great job. Now for those contractions. All right, come on, a little closer. I'm going to use my syllable frames for this. And right here, it's a one syllable word. It's a trick word. What's that word say? Does. Okay, now watch this. I'm going to use my standard cards for this next word. Okay, so what do we have? Does not. Let me hear you do a sentence with the words does not. Baby Echo does not like to swim. Speedy the turtle does not know how to climb a tree. Mrs. Holbrook does not know how to snowboard. I've tried, but I fall a lot. I'm not great at it. Okay, so when we push these words together, watch this. I'm going to get rid of the space. I'm going to push it right over. And I'm going to get rid of this O. And instead, I'm going to put this blank one here. And I'm going to replace it with something that looks like a comma, but it's flying up in the sky. It's called an apostrophe. Say apostrophe. Apostrophe, apostrophe, apostrophe. Okay, so now what does it say? Doesn't. So sometimes it sounds better to put these words together. Sometimes it's easier and quicker to say doesn't rather than saying does not. For example, it's faster to say, Speedy doesn't know how to climb a tree. Baby Echo doesn't like to swim. And a lot of times everybody's so busy, we're always trying to do things the quickest way. Okay? So remember, the O is replaced. The O was gone and we put an apostrophe there. So there's no vowel sound. It just sounds like nt, nt, nt. Okay? So when we shorten a word like this, we get rid of some letters and make it shorter and add an apostrophe. We call it a contraction. Say contraction. Contraction. How many syllables in the word contraction? Contraction. 3. And I hear shun at the end. That is one of our glued sounds that we know. Contraction. Right there. And who remembers what this is called? An apostrophe. How many syllables in apostrophe? Apostrophe. It sounds like at the beginning. Guess what? It starts with an A. It's like Alaska. Okay. So let's try some more of these. We're going to stick with not right now, but instead of does not, I am going to change it to a different trick word you learned a long time ago. Should not. So if we're going to change should not, we would slide over the not, get rid of the O, and put in an apostrophe. And how do we read it? Shouldn't. Very good. Let's try another one. Instead of shouldn't, I'm going to make it say not again. And over here on my syllable frame, I will change it to say C-O-U-L-D. What does this say? Could not. What will it become when I make it a contraction? Could not becomes couldn't. He couldn't wait to go to school today. Couldn't. Okay. And remember, whenever we're doing a contraction with not, we change the O to an apostrophe. Okay. I want you to get out your student notebook. Okay, find your student notebook right here. And let's find in the spelling rules. So remember the spelling rules, it tells us what section it is right here. So first we have sounds, then we have syllables, then we have spelling. So once you get to spelling, you need to search for the part that says contractions, making contractions. It looks like this. It's page 40. Let's look over what it says together. So to use this page, it says 1, identify the 2 words you're putting together. So here we put together could not. 2, take letters away from the second word, never the first, and put the apostrophe in place of the missing letters. So right here gives us an example. When you're contracting not, take away the O. So is not, what would it become? This first example is not, let me go ahead and write is not, it becomes isn't. So in your student notebook, let's go ahead and write that example. Is not equals isn't. It isn't snowing today. It is not. Okay. And you notice this whole page is about not. So anytime you're doing a contraction with not and you're not exactly sure, you can look down it. It shows you are not becomes aren't. Cannot becomes can't. So they're all here. And if you look at the bottom, it even tells you a couple special cases. So it shows you will not doesn't become willn't, it becomes won't. And do not becomes don't. Let us becomes let's. And I am becomes I'm. Okay. So next, we are going to learn about a different kind of contraction. Instead of doing ones that have the word not, we're going to look at some contractions with the word is. So let me grab those cards. So we will have something, and then we will have is. Let me get on this side so you can see. Okay, in my syllable frame, I will put the word, what does this word say? What. So instead of saying what is, like what is your favorite food? We can push these over we can get rid of our vowel and put in our apostrophe. We would say, what's your favorite food? Okay, so the I in not, the O was replaced with the apostrophe, but when we do contractions with is, the I is replaced with an apostrophe. Okay, so here's some other sentences. What is your name? What's your name? I want you to grab your whiteboards now and try these ones. So if the next one I'm going to do is, it's going to be an is one. There is. There is. There is my house. There is my friend. There is my book. Instead of saying there is on your whiteboard, can you write it as a contraction for me? That's right, you should smush it over, get rid of the I, and replace it with an apostrophe. It should look like that on your whiteboard. How do we say this? Theirs. There's my house. There's my friend. There's my book. It's faster, right? Okay. Let's try another one on your whiteboards. It will be is still, but I'm going to replace there with here. So show me for here is, what will it be? Go ahead, write it on your whiteboard. Instead of saying here is my thumb, what would it be with the contraction? That's right. How do we say it? Here's. Here's my thumb. Here's the last one I'll give you. We will do who is. On your whiteboard, put that together. Instead of saying who is hungry, what would we say? Who's hungry? Let's read these through. There's, here's, whose. Okay. So far today we've learned two contractions. We learned about not and is. So if you look back in the making contractions, this whole page, page 40, was with the word not. And then this whole page has a whole bunch more. This category here is. So if you look down this line, you're going to see all the ways to do contractions with is. Okay. So the last thing I want to do is help you with some of the spelling. So on your whiteboard, I want you to write the words does not. Okay, so you should be writing does not, just like that. And now I'm going to ask, how could I change this to a contraction? Okay, do it on your whiteboards. Does not. Well, we have to move over the not and replace the O with an apostrophe. And what does it say now? Doesn't. Okay, let's try a few more. Let's go down to the next line. Repeat after me. Would not. I would not eat that if I were you. Would not. After you write would not, change it to a contraction. Would not, what does it become? Wouldn't. I wouldn't eat that. Okay, we'll do one more. Say she is. She is beautiful. She is. And after you write she is, let's change it to a contraction. What did you get? She's beautiful. So for not and is, we took out the vowel in the second word and replaced it with an apostrophe. Great job. Be on the lookout for contractions in your reading, writing, and speaking. See you next time.